It's all games and it's all confusion, made that way to recreate illusion. Don't let go, you know more than you know. Cause life will knock you down and it won't warn you, but there's another day around the corner. You got what it takes to pull on through. We all, at some point, whether we know it or not, suffer from, mental health, or suffer from a decline in your mental health or whatever. And it can be from anything, from a traffic jam to whatever, do you know what I mean? It sets it off, and you might not see it coming a lot of the time, but sometimes you find yourself in a place that you feel like there's no way out. Do you know what I mean? I think women have it, they don't have it a lot better, but they've got it sussed a lot more in the way that girls, they tell each other everything. And it's like, I think the fact that they are so open about, the feelings and stuff like that, it helps them deal with them. Do you know what I mean? And it helps them, but like with men, as we know, it's very much, put your chest out, be one of the boys, fit in with the crowd, fit in with the clique. Do you know what I mean? Be like this, be like that. Do you know what I mean? And like, what, you're upset, you know what I mean? Don't be acting like a girl almost, do you know what I mean? And that's not, we're all human beings at the end of the day. We're all wired the same way, pretty much.
Sometime in the development of man, we developed self-consciousness. We began to realize that by directed thought, we could control our environment.
I myself, like many people, suffer with mental health issues, and through music it's really helped me sort of express my feelings and thoughts and getting it out on paper, and usually I sort of turn a negative into a positive. A few of our songs, like for example, Buses, is actually about the time that I used to go to therapy about not being able to get on a bus because I was so scared of getting on one. Now that I'm on stage just screaming I hate buses. And everyone's having a good time shouting it back at us, so it's nice. Yeah, music can make such a negative thing into such a positive.
Well, there have been times where you felt isolated, even when you're around people that you feel close to, but you can just feel distant and kind of like disillusioned with stuff sometimes. But music is definitely a good thing to channel your energy into, to keep it focused, because the more you put in, the more you get out of it.
I'm Ben Taylor. I run Yana Loan Festival in Manchester, which is a multi-venue festival. I set up the festival off the back of a pretty bad time for me. I lost 4 friends to suicide in like a really short period of time. I've definitely suffered in the past, and I've spoken to people, and getting a professional's opinion on the outcome has helped me massively. I know it's not for everybody, but I think when I got in that seat, I could kind of like talk, and I felt an instant relief, So, I mean, Manchester Mind, again, they're a non-profit charity, so events like this are big for them because, again, it does allow them to bring in more staff, to give more training. So those funds are necessary, it's something that obviously I feel quite proud about, to be able to help them in some small way.
Ben has not only hosted the first Yana Festival a few years ago, bringing together 50 to 80 bands at venues across the Northern Quarter, but also supporting Manchester Mind. What I love about working with Manchester Mind is we're really open about our mental health within our team, as well as the people we support, young people, children and adults across the city. I have suffered quite a few bereavements, one which was quite traumatic, and I did have panic attacks and quite major depression for about 5 years. And sadly I've lost quite a few friends who have taken their own life. So everything that we're doing with Yana Fest and at Manchester Mind is just to try and destigmatise mental health and to get people talking.
People began to see that they could provide for the future and that they could look after things and take care and direct everything. Immediately, anxiety came into the world. See, that was the fall of man.
A lot of musicians themselves do have mental health issues but don't feel comfortable talking about it. So I think as soon as you add both of the things together, it gives an outlet to be like, well, I've struggled a bit and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm pretty open about it myself. But yeah, I think it's super important, especially after the 2 years, 3 years we've had. I think it's so much more important now. And what I want to achieve from playing music is like, you come and watch us for half an hour and a half, and you forget about all the bullshit in the world for that moment in time. You're just in this pocket with a group of people, and you kind of, sounds cheesy, but you feel that euphoria in the room. And then there's been times where I've been like, wow, that was unreal. And then I come back outside and I'm like, oh, this is going on and this is going on. Yeah, and like, you know, you've got going on in your life. I think it's just such, it's an escape, man, and it's a very needed escape.
Music's mega important, it's a creative outlet, isn't it? I think a lot of people in this day and age are, since, you know, way back when, have suffered from certain things, you know, to do with society, struggles, you know what I mean? So when an artist connects with that and writes from their point of view, that's when you connect with all those other people, and that's also a massive lifeline to people. You know, I've had messages for years off people, and these messages really touch me, you know, when people say, oh, you've got me through some hard times in my life.
Music, again, it's a bit of an escape. I think once you put those headphones on or catch a live band, you go into a different, it's like your mental mind goes somewhere else. It's a big key for me, music. It plays a big part in a happy life, you know.
I think when experiencing like problems with mental health, it's just about having a focus, whether that is like meditating, exercising, playing guitar, or just speaking to friends and your family.
It's tough for everyone, but I've noticed my male friends are worse at it and they never want to talk about it. So I'm just at a point now where, like this, even though people will watch me saying this, like I was at a point where I wanted to do something stupid, but I didn't necessarily want to do it. You know what I mean? It's like mental health is pretty tricky.
Look after yourself. What I didn't do was I didn't look after myself. I abused every avenue I could. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Not even sleeping and just eating even. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Eventually, it will all come crashing down. So
this, you see, is the problem of all self-conscious beings. They feel responsibility, then they feel responsible for being responsible, and responsible for being responsible for being responsible. And there's no end to it.
There is like a big community vibe at concerts and gigs because everyone's there together because they appreciate art and the artists there, so you're probably going to find like-minded people going to gigs, attending gigs, even if you're not playing or directly a part of it, is definitely beneficial for mental health.
Well, especially being in a band, I've got my gals round there who I message and we go to band practice or we write together, and that's a good coping mechanism for when you feel lonely. It's just chatting to people and telling people you feel lonely, whether you're in a band or not. It's a good way. And then it's also really important to go to gigs as well, even if you have no one to go with. Go to the gig anyway if you really want to go. I go to loads of gigs on my own and bump into people. It's just a really good way just to get out and just doing something. I won't even say 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, people are feeling probably the same or have felt the same. You're not on your own doing this.
Obviously with the awareness getting broader now, hopefully there will be more support. I think just people need to keep just making people know that it's alright if you're not feeling great.
The more open we are, the sooner people can get help. There's no shame in having a mental health issue.
It's about knowing that it's okay to feel, to not be okay. Do you know what I mean? And knowing that like you can talk to people about it, and just finding, you know, everyone's method of coping with depression and mental health will be different. Do you know what I mean? Because it's all triggered by different things. We all like different things and we're all different people. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but it's mostly important to talk about it and find their methods.